Hello and welcome back to the Andrew Plays channel. We're back with some more F1 2021 content, and what we're going to be doing today is starting our My Team career mode. So we are going to go into here and make sure that it's set up how we want. So we want full qualifying, we're going to do 50% races. That's all fine, and we're going to have approximate weather, so we're going for mostly the pro mode, but there was a couple of things that I just wanted to change, and I like having the option to change things if I need to later on, which you can't if you set up on the pro mode, so that's fine. We're going to confirm those settings there, and we are going to throw in the My Team icons as well, because
first things first,
in the future
let's
I would
create
like to have
your
them.
driver.
So driver wise, there's not really anyone that looks particularly like me if you've watched any of my Football Manager videos, so we're just going to go with this guy. No particular reason. And of course we are British. Name is Andrew Page, as you may or may not know, who knows. And we're going to have our name as Ace because I've already looked. We don't have Andrews, Page, anything that sounds remotely like them. We're going to pick car number 12 because my birthday is on the 12th.
And now let's focus on your driver's look.
And helmet wise, I did unlock one that I quite like the look of. It was this one just here, so I'm going to go with that for now. I may well let's change the colours while we're here. Which bit does this affect? I need to change the luminance first. That's the majority of it. I quite like the idea of a mostly black helmet with that bit of white and a little bit of red on there as well, with red being my favourite colour. I quite like the look of that. That's something that probably will get changed a few times throughout the series. Suit wise, I think we're going to go with this one here. This is a lot of colours to go through though. So the idea of my series, because I haven't got anything else at the moment that I could think of, so what my current plan was we're going to go with United Racing, as though my favourite team, Manchester United, have created an F1 team, and this is just kind of what I think their race drivers might wear if they had a team. Glove wise, we're going to go with the same type of colour scheme here, but I quite like black gloves, and then we'll have a white line on there. Quite a basic set of gloves. We're not doing that. We're gonna just stand like this. And podium emotes. Do we throw up the Gareth Bale heart? We'll throw up the Gareth Bale heart. It's going to be a while before on the podium anyway, so I imagine by the time we get to that moment we'll have unlocked a lot more. We're going to have the victory radio callers I need a moment, because particularly that way it's going to be the first time that we
boss,
win it.
Let's get this team up and running. First, enter a team name.
So as mentioned, we're going to go with United Racing.
Now let's choose a primary sponsor for this season. Some sponsors offer a larger sign-in bonus up front. Some offer more weekly income. The better we perform, the more our level will go up as the team gains more acclaim. Doing this will increase the income from our sponsors.
So I'm thinking we don't want to go like earn 25 Constructors Championship points. That might not happen this season. So I'm thinking we go for finish 8th or better in the Constructors Championship. We only need to beat 3 teams. And you'll see tomorrow I've been simulating F1 2021 season mode. Williams, Alfa Romeo and Haas don't pick up many points, so I think with
Our chassis won't
only
be
a
going
couple of
anywhere
points
fast
we'll
without a
be
power
able to do
unit,
that.
so let's sign one of those now. Obviously, the greater the performance and durability, the better, but be careful about spending all our cash. We're going to have people and facilities to invest in as well. Power unit suppliers will also provide upgrades throughout the season free of charge.
So, my thought here is between Renault and Honda, because they're the cheapest two. I think we're going to go with Honda for the first year. Just because that way we're saving a bit of money to put into what we
We're
can
not much of
improve
a
on the
team
car.
without a second driver. Here are the drivers interested in joining our team. Look at their stats and pick someone you think can get us good results, as long as we can afford them. We renew contracts periodically, so you'll have plenty of chances to sign someone else should the need arise.
So I'm thinking we go with an all-British lineup and go with Dan Ticktum. He's got the best pace out of everyone, equal best pace. Not quite as good as Matsushita on the racecraft or awareness. Same on awareness actually. But yeah, I think we're going to go with an all-British lineup. He's slightly cheaper for very similar level.
Looks like we can afford this power unit supply. Let's create the livery we will be running this season.
So,
we can add more sponsors to the car as we sign them throughout the year.
livery that we're going to go
And don't
for.
worry, we can
Let's have a
edit our look at any time from HQ.
These ones we can't change colour on, but they're inspired by the Breaking Point drivers. So, I think for our first season we're going to go with quite a basic design, with the idea being, make it look a bit like Manchester United. We'll have I quite like the black tint there, and then I'm not happy with how this is zooming, how this is rotating. Do we go with white there? I think we do. Looks a little bit Alfa Romeo, doesn't it? So maybe we're going to go with that red and black design there. It's not the prettiest design, but hopefully we can come up with some better ideas later down the line. And then we're going to go with the Michael Schumacher quote inside the car.
Last but not least, we need to consider our brand, our badge and team colours.
So, I'm not massively bothered about the logos and things like that. So, we're just going to go for something relatively basic. And I think we're going to go with... We'll go with this one here. No, in fact, we'll go with that one. Because if we put it like that, it looks quite nice. I'll be honest, I do probably plan to change from United Racing. I don't think that's a permanent thing to go with. We're going to make our team black as the primary colour for now. The reason being is it means we stand out nice and easy on the mini-map. And yeah, we like to be able to see our teams on the mini-map. And that will do us
Great,
for
that's everything we need.
now.
Hello folks, and welcome to this, a very special edition of Paddock Pass. As you can see, there's no pit lane behind me, and as you can hear, no roar of engines, and that's because they've set me free from the F1 paddock to escape here to the countryside and to the headquarters of Formula One's newest team. Now, it's not every day we get to pull back the curtain and look behind the scenes at an F1 team. Rarer still, that we get to talk not only to the team owner, but also the team's lead driver. But what makes this place extra special is that the owner and lead driver are one and the same person. Now, it's been an interesting 12 months, and we all know a number of the regulation changes which were due to come into effect this year have been delayed until next. Some, though, are still seeing the light of day, amongst them the all-important budget cap, which gives some of the smaller teams a little further down the order, potentially, the opportunity to compete with the bigger teams. Good for them, but great for us as viewers. But what does our new team owner think about these new rules? Do they see them as a challenge, a hurdle that needs to be overcome? Perhaps they see them as an opportunity to disrupt the status quo, a chance to come out swinging and to carve their name into Formula One history. Well, I had the opportunity to ask them these very questions just earlier today, and here's what they had to say. Well, first of all, thanks so much for inviting us here today. It's been wonderful to see behind the scenes. As you might expect, I've got about 1 million questions, so let's jump straight in. It's been a long time since we last saw a team owner take their own car onto the track, and the sport's changed enormously in the intervening years. How are you going to handle the responsibilities of both managing and driving for a Formula One team?
So, yeah, here we're going to say, you know, we've got to do this with the team. I'm not going to say that we're unstoppable, that sounds a little bit cocky. So we're just going to credit the team, you know, without them this wouldn't be possible.
Let's talk about your teammate. Now, it's clear they're excited to have signed with you, but tell me, what is it that you think they bring to the team?
So, yeah, he's British, so it's nice to have the British team come together, and also he's got a lot of potential in him. You know, he's one of the best drivers that were available to us, and he's up there with Matsushita, who's probably the only guy better than him, and he's slightly cheaper, so it fits a new team's budget, and also gives us a very good driver for the future.
So you've obviously been putting a lot of work into the car. I know it's early days, but how do you expect it to feel out there?
So in terms of the car, this is where, you know, our answers start to affect what we have in the car, and what I'd like to go for is probably getting a bit of advantage towards getting our power unit and aero going well, or do we go balanced around the car and get a little bit of everything? I think here we'll say sim data looks good, but we won't know until we get on the track.
Most of the other teams can boast years of experience in Formula One. Where do you see the opportunities to make those vital performance gains you need to put you within reach of the other cars?
So one of the things that I noticed on last year's game was if you answered and gave yourself lots of, you know, boosted lots of the departments, it tended to give you a decent car. I'm going to try and do as many answers as I can that I don't think will give us any boost. So you can see, you know, the bottom option is going to be to do with aero. We're going to say, you know, it's going to be tough. We'll have a better picture after the first race. I want to make this as, you know, as big of a challenge as I can.
Ultimately, your success this season is going to come down to whether you can take positions from the other drivers. What is it about your car that's going to give you that edge in those battles?
So this one is one that we do have to give an answer. It's going to boost one of our departments. So I think we're going to go and talk about the overtaking power that we have, particularly with the engine not being the best engine that was available to us. If we can make our own personal parts of the engine better, that'll benefit us and kind of outweigh the fact that we've gone for the worst of the 4 options in terms of engine power.
And finally, with so many specialist departments working together here at your headquarters, and with such an important deadline coming up, who's getting that coveted Teacher's Gold Star? Which group do you feel the most proud of right now?
So here we've got a option to, give a boost to one of the departments. I think on this one, we're going to give the boost to the chassis department. Hopefully that will give us a bit of an improvement in something such as weight distribution, which will make the car feel nicer going around the track.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been wonderful to get an insight from you and, of course, to see around the headquarters. Thank you for today. Really appreciate it. And thank you all at home for watching as well. We'll see you very soon.
So we have it, the introduction to the team. We're going to send the driver onto a driver training camp, and then the week after that, we'll go for a aero and chassis focus to try and give the aero team a bit of a boost, and not a lot to go through there. So let's have a look. We've got 1,000 R&D points straight off the bat, so we're going to head to our R&D charts. So you can see we've got a bit of a boost on the powertrain and a bit of a boost on the durability. I think what we'll do, we've come out just above Haas and Williams, so that's not too bad. We're going to go and make an improvement on the front wing of the car, and then also I think we're going to go and, as mentioned, we're going to go for a bit of weight redistribution, which is taking 16 days. That's all our R&D points used up there. However, they will hopefully have the rear floor under tray ready for the first race of the season. If we advance through, we've got the driver training camp now, so a bit of experience and pace for him. And let's go and have a proper look at the car. There's a look at the car under the lights a little bit, and we'll just carry on advancing towards the Bahrain Grand Prix now. And again, a little bit of weekly resources coming in.
Our new parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.
And some fantastic news there. So obviously this year you no longer get the choice of weekend tyre allocation, we just get these assigned. So we're definitely going to be going into qualifying wanting to save at least one pair for the race. But I think we'll do a bit of running on the hard and medium in practice. I'm not going to show you too much of practice or qualifying today because we've had a lot of stuff before we get into that area. But nevertheless, we'll get into the Bahrain Grand Prix and go and see how the car feels on track.
Welcome to the team. I'm Ollie. I'm the team's head of R&D. I'm here to help you deliver the results the team expects. Do that, and I'm sure we'll get on great. Your workstation's all set up and ready to go. Don't let us down.
Okay, so for qualifying, it's definitely going to be dry. Rain, there is a slight chance in the race, but I would be surprised at 17% if that does affect us at all. So I think we'll be fine. But practice is going to be nice and clear for us at least. And let's get into it. So I've actually skipped through to practice 2 here, but we've got a qualifying pace program to run. And as we come into turn 1, we looked good down the straight, and out of the next straight we do well around those corners, although do lose a bit of time on the delta. I think going into this we're expecting qualifying of 17th. So we are expecting to be towards the back. We do quite a good first sector there. Obviously going purple with the first car around the track into turn 9, a corner that I'm not a very big fan of. I've got better at it through practice 1, but then we come up into turn 10, and this one has caused me problems all weekend. And you can see there a little bit wide a little bit slow through it as well. But we accelerate well out of it, and this is where our car is doing its best work, is in a straight line. And then into turn 11 we go, and we do quite well around this run. I believe we stay well inside track limits here. A little bit poor on the exit there, but push through, and we're going to go green as we go into the final turn, and a hard braking zone. Take it round to the right. We're green all the way, and across we go.
Program complete.
And now you join us here in Q1, and you can see this is our first run, and I'm just showing you here the struggles I have with turn 10. So this is on the first set of softs, and you can see we go very wide there, and we do manage to keep it on track, but a poor turn 10. And in just a moment we're going to go through to our second attempt at this, and we come down into
the end of this lap.
turn 9, and this was like a cool down lap, and I just wanted to have another run at turn 10. This time get it a lot nicer, still a little bit slow, but we pull over to the side of the track as we come out of it, and then here we are. This is our qualifying lap that actually counts. So we come into the first corner very nicely into that, and very aggressive over the curb as we head up towards turn 4. We've had a good first sector again. As you can see, we're currently 18th, so in the elimination zone, cut-off is 17th or 16th. And we come around here, very nearly exceed track limits there. But we take turn 9 well. Throughout the weekend, you will see I grow into turn 9, I get used to that. Into turn 10, and again, it's a little bit shaky. But we just about managed to, probably the best I took turn 10 throughout all practice and qualifying. And then down here towards turn 11, we go well into there and accelerate out of it. Then into the next corner, we do go well inside track limits once again and get a little bit of curb. We don't really like to hit the curb on that corner, but it was a little bit close for us, and we go into the final corner. Out of that we go down to the straight, and we're going to cross the line. We're currently in 18th, and we come out in 15th, so we are right on the verge of being out of qualifying, and we're going to go and have a look at the final.
Fuel now. The tank is empty.
We're going to go have a look at the final standings just now. Has that been enough to get us through to Q2? Hamilton going fastest in Q1, and we're going to go down and have a look. Have we made it through? And we haven't. We've actually ended up 19th. We're only 1/10 off being out of Q2, but you can see Dan does as well. Gets one of our cars through, and Kimmy for some reason only ran one set of softs and went out. I don't know why he didn't go back out, but you can see our time there was improved on the second attempt.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal, and it's make or break here at round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. There's no shortage of passing opportunities around the 3.36 miles of the Bahrain International Circuit, with the best at turn 1, of course, and then another soon into turn 4. 15 corners here, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, and we could see 1 or 2 flat spots into the tight left-hander of turn 10. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice, and they've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Daniel Ricciardo and Norris, Leclerc, Sainz, Vettel and Lance Stroll, Gasly, Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso and Ocon, Giovinazzi, Tigtum, Mick Schumacher and George Russell, Ace, Raikkonen, Latifi and Nikita Mazepin. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So, starting from 19th on the grid, we're going to have a little look at strategy for the day. So they're recommending mediums to softs. I did have a little play around here what we could go for. I considered going in at lap 14, had a look between personalising what was projected. Also had a little look at going in at lap 12. Lower the fuel a little bit. We tend to I generally, if I have a fuel limit, I tend to just kind of stick where I am, particularly this year without having the option of rich and lean revs. Just have a quick consideration of changing the wing, decide not to, and let's get into the race. So now for the first time, it's 5 red lights, and we are away for the start of my team career mode, Bahrain Grand Prix Season 1. And it's not a great start as Russell pulls away from us, but into the hard braking zone of turn 1, and there's not really a way through for us here. We're alongside Raikkonen and watching them in front of us. We get exceeding track limits, but we go past Schumacher and past Giovinazzi, and into 17th we go. And we're going to think about going around the outside of Russell here. We're wheel to wheel with him, and we're going to just back out of that one, and we're going to come around the next corner down towards turn 9. And are we going to go aggressive? We are going to go aggressive, and a little bit of wheel to wheel action there. There's a little bit of contact, but we'll ignore that, and up towards turn 10 we go, and we take that quite well. We managed to make sure Russell can't get past us, and we're going to chase Ocon down the straight now. And into turn 11 we go. Take that corner quite well once again, and this corner here, turn 12, one of my favourite corners, although we do go quite wide on this occasion, nearly lose it there as we come out of it as well, but that corner does feel great when you get it right. And then we tried to break a bit of DRS on Russell there, and now we're just going to advance through a couple of laps. DRS has now been enabled, and Russell's tried to go around the outside of us, and what you're going to see here is nearly exceeding track limits once again. And we know going into turn 10 we're going to be defending from Russell. Ocon has pulled away from his Tigtum, doing well to stay in that pack. Russell's going to try and go around the outside, and he's blocked off, and Giovinazzi then goes past Russell. I don't think I did anything wrong there. To me, I think I had the coverage there. He was never really getting past us. But then we skip to another lap, and we're going into turn 10 again, and this time we take it very well and into overtake. You can see there Ocon has now gone past Tigtum, who's now struggling to stay with Ocon. Can we close the gap to our teammate so we can put some pressure on him? And this is where that lap, that corner 12 looks very nice, but we do exceed track limits and we skid a little bit. And now Giovinazzi's got a great run at us out of turn 13 because of the skid. Schumacher's there as well, but we're mostly up to speed before Schumacher can get to us. We break in hard behind Giovinazzi, shut the door on Schumacher, and we've got DRS now to go and attack Giovinazzi and try and get that place back. We lose a lot of time to Tictum there because of the mistake as well. And we think about going down the inside. We're not quite close enough at this stage. But Schumacher's stuck behind us and we need to make sure we stick with Giovinazzi. We've got DRS on him, so we should be able to stay in range. One lap on, we're attacking again, and we're going to go down the outside this time. And can we outbrake Giovinazzi? Not quite. He gets back, having the inside, and pulls away. And he's the one that comes out of the corner with DRS.
It looks like we might have an issue. Hang in there, we're attempting to manage it.
So a bit of an issue with the engine, and that does raise a bit of concern. We have a little look at the tyres, they're all okay. We're attacking Giovinazzi into this corner as we approach lap 8. We're going to have DRS once again, and DRS is activated. And we're going to ask for a check on our vehicle, get no response.
It looks like a mechanical failure. We're going to have to ask you to find a safe spot to retire. Sorry about that.
But the internal combustion engine is gone, and we are out of the race. Disaster for United Racing as the first set of runners make their pit stops. We will not be taking any further participation in this race, and United Racing's debut in F1 has a heartbreaking end. And into the paddock we go. We're going to be having a go at some of the engineers for messing up our debut race.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the Drivers' Table. Lewis Hamilton takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Kimi Räikkönen is my standout today. Nothing you could construe as showboating, just an incredibly consistent performance out on track.
Let's move on to the Constructors. Mercedes move to the top of the table. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
So, a horrendous way to start our F1 My Team career mode as we retire from the Bahrain Grand Prix. Out of interest, Tictum remained in the race, finishing 15th, so he did drop off Ocon, but does well to hold off Raikkonen and Giovinazzi. But along with Mick Schumacher, we have to retire, although he at least got to make a pit stop. Let's see if we can spot when he had to retire. We can't. As you can see, a couple of track limits warnings. And unfortunately, a bad start to the season for us as we go out with a mechanical failure. But let's gather up and hopefully we can come back strong next time. So out of the Bahrain Grand Prix we go. ICE is completely gone, so we're already using the second engine, which is a massive problem for us, but we'll review everything else in the next episode of My Team, where we'll be heading into a season break, and then we've got the Spanish Grand Prix. So we'll be back with that in a few days, hopefully Thursday, but we'll keep an eye on the channel. You'll know when it's available. If you have enjoyed that, please do leave a like, subscribe for more FM and F1 2021 content, and thank you very much for watching.